Okay, why is AWS ruining sports? I really think they are. With their machine learning, their AI, they ruined the Super Bowl and they're going to ruin all sports. World Cup, everything. I mean, that's an event, right? I know that. But soccer and everything. Why are they going to ruin it? Let's talk about that. Okay, so many of you may not be football fans. Last night was the Super Bowl, the big event for the NFL, the National Football League, American football, blah, 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 throwing balls and doing things, all right? It's a big sport and the biggest event. But what was so cool was I saw some commercials from AWS, and they talked about how they were doing what's called next-gen stats, and how they're using machine learning and artificial intelligence to analyze the game, analyzing every player, the plays, the statistics, so much so that it almost removes the guesswork about what's going on. So I want to talk about that. That's kind of the main subject. I want to go through how AWS is doing this and what I think the outcome might be. Prediction. I think in 20 years, this is a wild prediction, but you never know. I want to be a Gary Vee real quick. I think in 20 years, there will be robots doing the Super Bowl. That's it. That's it. I think it'll be robots or maybe robot people hybrids just running around. That's what I think. I think it's gonna make it crazy. Anyways, and also for this live stream, I'll be going through a few things I saw interesting throughout the week, and I'll be announcing the Linux Plus winners, the contest I ran. So 2 winners will win the entire CompTIA Linux Plus training, Cert Master, awesome goodness, and Linux Plus vouchers. Altogether, it's worth about $800, and it gets you everything you need to get the Linux Plus, which is killer. I'll be doing the same thing. Anyways, let's talk about AWS. For that, I'm going to go to my thing here, my on-screen stuff. Now, I was looking at the certifications for machine learning just before the live stream. Also, hello everyone, how are you doing this evening? Let me switch to my pen so I can draw on things. I almost knocked over my coffee when I did that. That would have been a disaster. Let me grab my pen real quick. Okay, so here we go. So anybody who knows anything about the Super Bowl, the best part of the Super Bowl is the commercials. So that's what my daughters and my family and I were looking for. And AWS was all over it, from their Amazon Alexa commercials to, I just said her name, she heard me, to their AWS platform, which I love it when tech is so mainstream. I'm like, hey, I know AWS. I know what that is. That's cloud. That's what I do. It makes me so excited when people do that. Anyways, I had to look this up. How are they doing this? Because they were showing things I can just play this video. They were showing things let me see if I can. Oh yeah, they're analyzing stuff being thrown around. They're able to look at all that stuff. It's crazy. This is actually happening. So I had to know how they're doing it. What are they doing? And I also wanted to explore it from the perspective of, is this something that we can learn? Is this something that we can take, starting out to learn the cloud and then kind of move that direction? I think that would be really, really cool. Now, I know machine learning is a big buzzword. Artificial intelligence has been a big buzzword. But the cloud is making it so magically possible right now. And there are jobs opening up for machine learning people. Now, to be a serious machine learning person, you got to be programmer, data scientist kind of thing. But it is opening a door to people who just need to build the infrastructure in AWS to make it possible. That's where we come in, and maybe even further down the line, we can learn Python and machine, all that kind of stuff. We can become scientists, put our glasses on. But I wanted to see how this works. So it's cool, transforming a 100-year-old league and bringing new stats in. So here's what they do, and I'm gonna draw on the screen because that's what I do at CBT Nuggets, and it's just more common for me. So what's cool is I didn't know this. They actually have RFID tags in the shoulder pads of all the guys, and that captures the stats. They also have an RFID tag in the ball. They're tracking the ball. So every throw of the ball, they're knowing exactly how fast the ball is going. They're knowing exactly how fast each player is running at any given moment. And that's why the announcers, the broadcasters can go oh, he's running at 19 miles an hour. Wow, he's really they can just do it live. All that data is being given to them. That was a really crappy snap. There, that's better. Just like that. And that's amazing. But here's how it works. Let me, I kind of draw over one I wanted to focus on. So part of what makes it work in Amazon is they use their EC2, which is their compute in the cloud. So basically, computers, servers in the cloud. You rent their stuff and you run stuff on it. They use that. Their S3, which is their storage, and then their EMR, which I had to look this up. I didn't know what that was, but they use what's called Splunk, or Hadoop. So Splunk, or it's not Splunk. I don't know why I said Splunk. Oh, I saw a Splunk commercial last night too. Splunk was on the Super Bowl ads. That's crazy. They use Apache Spark, and they use Hadoop as well. Both of these are for like large, massive amounts of data sets. Not just like SQL, analyzing a few things, relational databases. No, this is like huge, unstructured data, just so much data. It's impossible to really analyze it with any other SQL language. They have to use these. Hadoop is for big data. That's the buzzword, big data. All this data is put into what's called a data lake, which is kind of funny. It's a funny term. Like I just picture just a massive lake full of ones and zeros. That's pretty much what it is. So their EMR makes, like, Hadoop and Spark is a thing all by itself, but their EMR system makes it super easy and cost effective to analyze this data. So I feel like I'm going all over the place. So step one, capture the data. So they use RFID tags and such to capture the data. They shoot it up to the Amazon compute systems in the cloud, and they store it in their S3 storage, and then they use their data lake and Hadoop and Apache Spark to analyze the data, ingest it, and do things with it, and then it's analyzed. This is the machine learning part. Amazon has a thing called SageMaker, which I love their names. The names are hilarious. That sounds like a cool thing. But anyways, let me scoot this over so I can get a better view. Okay, cool. Everyone able to hear me? Cool. So SageMaker. This is their machine learning platform. Machine learning, I got drawing crap on the screen. Machine learning by itself can be done without cloud, without things like AWS or Azure, but it's very, very difficult, extremely difficult to get the compute power you need, the storage power, the data management. It's almost impossible. That's why before now it's just been large companies with access to supercomputers that are able to do this, but now cloud makes it accessible to anyone. So if you are a student or you are working for a company that you're like, oh, I really want to analyze this data, it's a matter of just spinning up a few things in Amazon real quick. Now, sure, over time, it's going to cost you a butt ton of money, but it's still accessible. It's not as expensive as it used to be. Now, I'm not going to go into the detail of how SageMaker works because I don't know how it works. I just know that this is the nuts and bolts of it. And basically, it's a machine learning platform that can take that data they get from the players running around and balls being thrown. They take that data and just develop insights. So much that they can say like, there's a 95% chance that he's going to make that next pass, or they're running this defense, they're running this offense. When that play runs, it's gonna do this and that, or they can make Super Bowl predictions. Now, what I think is funny is, even with Amazon having all this data, they've been tracking this data for a while. Even having all this data, they still made the wrong prediction for the winner of the Super Bowl. I believe they predicted that the 49ers would win. They did not, of course. The Chiefs won, so they're getting there. But it's still amazing, and I think the next part is like the most killer part. Well, I don't know. It's probably more killer for me than anybody, than most people who care about machine learning. They distribute the results, which is so amazing. Let me get my pen back. They use AWS Lambda, which is like serverless functions in the cloud. It's hard to explain in just a short amount of time, but basically it's programming without running it on a computer, without running it on a server or anything. It's just there, and you say, I want this to happen. It's amazing. Don't even know what that is. All this Route S3, all API gateways, all this crazy stuff, they use it to send it to the broadcasters, and they get the stuff in their ears and their tablets, and they're able to see like immediately stats just on the fly about all the players doing things. Now, I've been talking about football because that's been the big buzzword here in America, at least. But that can easily be applied to soccer. They're putting RFID tags in the balls or on the goals, or putting it in their shin guards, just like, I don't know, wherever they put it. And baseball, they can apply this to everything, and I think that's amazing. But what I don't know. All this makes me think: are they ruining sports? Like, believe me, don't get me wrong. Amazon, keep doing this. This is so stinking cool because, the data, I love statistics, and I love when tech is a part of it. It's amazing. I mean, just again, here's another view of it. It's just so cool what they're able to do, and it's cool to kind of look and understand that the pieces that make it all happen. Like when you see a commercial like, oh, next gen data analytics and statistics, Amazon's making it happen. It sounds like, voodoo. But when you start studying AWS and you learn the parts, like, oh yeah, it's that, and that. Okay, well that makes sense. That's real. I understand the technology. It's not. I mean, it's still magic, but it's not as mysterious as it was before. You understand, and it makes you love it even more. But now I want to talk about why I think it's ruining sports. And this is like, I'm not a sports expert, but this is just Chuck's 2 cents. I'm gonna sip over here. I think it's taking the fun out of it. I think that they're going to analyze the statistics so hard that they're just going to know, like, part of the fun in watching sports is the excitement, right? The novelty of each game. You don't know what's going to happen. Oh, who's going to score this? Who's going to do that? Pretty soon, machine learning is going to be so incredibly smart, so good, that there won't be any guesswork. Like, the coaches won't even be coaching. They won't even have to analyze. The machine learning does it for them. No more watching plays over and over and over. You just know what you have to do. The machine learning just gives you the output. That's what we're talking. Like, we've seen how machine learning has been impacting all of us, right? All of our jobs. Networking is being affected by AI machine learning. So where we used to have to build, I mean, we still do. A lot of us still do. Build networks manually, typing in commands, troubleshooting it manually. We have things now with everything across the board in IT where if a problem happens, it's going to be auto-populated. Hey, here's how you fix the issue. Or most of the time, it's just auto-fixed for us. Machine learning is kind of taking over that. So again, looking back at the sports thing, it's kind of taking the fun out of it, I think, the novelty. So, I mean, it could make it more awesome. It could make it to where we're tweaking so many things and we can draft just the right people, get the right players on the team that mesh so perfectly because we know their stats, and machine learning Alexa said they would work perfectly together, and they do, and they score 1 million goals. Like, you got Messi and Ronaldinho, all these people, like Ronaldinho's retired, right? They got all these people that are just killer awesome. Machine learning can make that happen, but then I think we're going to get bored with that real fast. I think we're going to end up getting robots, and I think eventually we're just going to have robots running around tackling each other. Soon we'll have laser cannons and sharks with lasers on their heads. It's going to be ridiculous. I think machine learning is going to ruin that. But anyways, I just kind of brought that up because I thought it was so cool how the tech we know and love, the things we're learning, the certifications we're going for, is so relevant to all the mainstream things now. It's so much so that they're showing up on Super Bowl commercials. That's a big deal. I mean, oh my gosh. So to be able to sit there watching the Super Bowl with your kids, and if you're studying for an AWS cert, you'd be like, hey, your dad's studying for that, or hey, your mom's studying for that. This is awesome, right? That's so cool. Tech is becoming so cool for us. I did want to look at the packet thrower, more Cisco. Yeah, more Cisco, but right now more AWS. I'll go back and answer some of the questions here in a bit. I'm on a roll here. I want to talk about AWS forever. I did want to cover the certification. There's a machine learning certification you can actually go for. Let me pull up the screen real quick. Where'd it go? There it is. So they have their, AWS has their whole certification roadmap here. And while it's not like a stepping stone, it is a specialty, machine learning right here. And once you get the AWS Certified Solutions Associate, and then maybe even go professional, you can go the machine learning path. And here's the secret to getting big in IT and earning a ton of cash in IT. Learn things that other people don't know. That's the big secret. Learn skills that are rare and that are sought after. Machine learning is, let's just face it, it's not going anywhere. It's going to only get bigger. Azure has their own thing too. I explored a lot of that, and I know AWS is obviously really big with that. So as you're planning out your path, of course, focus on the fundamentals. You want to get the fundamentals down. Learn your networking, learn your systems, learn AWS and the basics of how it works. But as you plan your path, maybe go for the hard stuff. Maybe go for the things that are rare, because how many people know machine learning right now? How many people have machine learning on their resume? I'm sure some people do, obviously, but it's a rare skill. When I was when I was doing Cisco and I was an engineer in the field, knowing Cisco Collaboration, knowing how to work phones and video calls and all that was not a very popular skill to know, but it was a very lucrative skill to know, if you know what I mean. So those kind of skills are killer. So I would encourage you to look at that. I'm gonna grab some water because I'm getting so cotton-mouthed here. So anyways, that was a peek behind the curtain of AWS, just a little bit in how their machine learning works with the NFL and how I think they're going to take over the world. It's either them, Google, or Azure, or they all three own parts of the world. I don't know. Now we will get to the winner of the Linux Plus stuff here in a moment, but I wanted to highlight a few things I saw in the news. I thought it was hilarious. One thing, I've always hated Microsoft's chat software. If you look at this here, Microsoft Teams went down because they forgot to renew a security certificate this morning. That's embarrassing. Like, that's like a basic thing. Like, I make sure my website doesn't go down because my security certificates don't go down, my SSL stuff. They didn't renew it, and they were down for like, I don't know how long they were down. It was successfully deployed around 427. So like they were down for a while. Oh my gosh. So if you were affected by Microsoft Teams, put that in the comments or the chat here. That's hilarious. Like, that's stinking hilarious. Anyways, moving on. I did have a few other things I want to talk about. I'm going to kind of just brush over them. There's a big deal with how there's a bill passed, some kind of lobbying bill passed in like the Iowa caucus or something here in the U.S., like a $24 billion deal where they're going to start putting broadband internet in rural areas, which is killer because, oh my gosh, putting internet in a place where they never really had good internet changes the entire landscape. I mean, it's killer. Like right now, I'll be honest, I live in kind of a rural area. Like if I walk out on my back porch, I see a cow. I see a cow. But because the city has invested in the infrastructure, I've got gigabit internet, like gigabit up and down. Like, it's awesome. So I think that's really cool that's happening. I think the more internet we get, the better people's lives are going to be. The more opportunities you have to learn, like the fact that you're watching me right now, that you know about IT, that you know about certifications, that you can further your life and your skills is the best thing, like the most amazing thing in the world. So that's awesome. One more thing before I get to the Linux Plus giveaway. And I think it's good we were talking about this because you may recall that CompTIA has been kind of getting some bad press. They have been lobbying against the right to repair. The right to repair our own stuff. Like, I'm literally about to repair my laptop because the fan noise is, I can't even do it. But they're trying to take that right away, which I'm totally against. We as tech people should be able to repair our own things. And I find it ironic that CompTIA, the people who have a certification teaching us how to repair said things, are trying to prevent us from repairing things. Doesn't make any sense, right? So Lewis Rossman posted a video. I'm not going to play it, but I'll just kind of show you, and I'll put the link in the chat here. He has been doing so much amazing good. Like, no, someone says screw CompTIA. Hold on. I encourage you to go watch that video after we're done here. He has been lobbying to fight the power, basically. Say, do not get in the way. He runs a business. It's going to affect him and millions of people adversely. So he's been lobbying against that. And today he posted a video, Hope. He got a letter from CompTIA saying, basically, we are going to kind of step out of the fight a bit. We realize the effect, and I think it was because of him, because of all his notoriety, the videos he's been posting, the lobbying things he's been going to. Thanks, Lewis. That's amazing. Thank you. So I think CompTIA has stepped back. I think. So that's the official word now anyway. He was going to have a talk with his CEO. I don't think they ever made the chat happen, but basically that was the consensus. They're going to step back, which I think is killer. So as I'm about to announce the winners for CompTIA Linux Plus, rest assured, I think CompTIA, maybe they're just doing it to appease us, which either way we win, right? We spoke about it, we won. But I think CompTIA is back in our good graces at this moment. They're not lobbying actively against us on that. So let's give CompTIA a break for now. So anyways, Linux Plus. Let's announce the winners. You want to announce the winners? Let's announce the winners here. Thank you, Chase. for revoking your screw CompTIA. Now, things could change, but as of now, we're good, I think. So anyways, let's announce the winner. I've got my contest page up. I have not chosen the winners yet. I will do that live right now. Let's do it. I'm going to draw. There's 2 winners for this. I'll draw the winners. 2 winners to draw right now. 763 potential winners. So thank you all for entering this contest. Let's do it. Drawing. And I will hide this real quick so you can't have the stuff given away. I always forget to do this. But our 2 winners are Colin Manson and Rick Adams. Congrats. I will reach out to you. Actually, it's like Rick Adams is from South Africa. That's awesome. And Colin Manson is from the UK. So that's amazing. So guys, I will reach out to you with the details. Actually, I'll probably give your information to CompTIA, and they'll get the information to you. But you've gotten everything you need to just go down that path and learn Linux. So I understand a lot of you did not win. Most of you, nearly all of you, did not win. I'll put some links in the description below. CBT Nuggets. Sean Powers just finished his amazing Linux Plus course. I got to review a lot of it, and it's top notch. So I'll put a link to that in the description once this whole live stream thing's done, because I always forget to put my live stream notes in there. But anyways, yeah, congrats, guys. I will get that out, and I'll announce the winners everywhere. But that's amazing. Congrats. Now I'm going to answer a few questions. I know I've been talking nonstop, and I'm tired. Let's see. I'll look at the first few super chats here. So Liha, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, just taking a sip of coffee here. She says, I have CCNA and CCNA Security. So the next step should be CCNA DevOps or CCNA Data Center or AWS cert. Desperate for a job. It's a tough place to be. So you have CCNA Security and CCNA. I would say at this point, go for an AWS certification. But I say that with this in mind. Do job searches in your area right now. Go look in your area, do a job search, see what it would take to get a job as an AWS certified individual. I know that they look for people who both know AWS and know networking, like CCNA, and it's a solid place to be. And if you're willing to start kind of low, like on a help desk, that's a good place to start. Maybe as a junior engineer. But that's what I would do. AWS and any kind of cloud technology is so hot right now. It's just hot right now. No other way to say it. But again, it just depends on where your area is. In your area, it could be that AWS is like not even a thing. It could be Azure. Like just do the research and then look at the job requirements and then just go for that. Like that's how I've always decided my path. A lot of what Jeremy Chara tells people on his channel, finding your passion is usually just picking a technology, learning it really, really well, and suddenly, magically, you're passionate about it because you know it well, and you enjoy knowing things well and doing it. That's what I've found in my career. It's been true, and I think it will be true for you, any of you guys. All right. Hope that answered your questions, Leah. So, Bill, thank you for the super chat. Did you ever expect motivation from your managers when starting up? How would you motivate yourself if you didn't? So, my managers... it's been mixed. So at times, like I managed to convince my managers throughout my career to pay for my certifications only if I passed, actually. If I took the test and I failed, they wouldn't pay for it, only if I passed. But they never said I would get a bump up or anything. They, of course, encouraged me to learn. So most of my career has been kind of like, yeah, you should learn, but we can't promise anything for you. There were a few jobs where no one cared about certifications. At least my bosses didn't care about it. So your question, how would you motivate yourself if you didn't? The way I motivated myself, honestly, this is what I did, and I feel kind of bad now because I would do it during work hours. Never do this during work hours, but I would look at other job offerings. I would look at job boards and see what they like. I would look at Cinemark because I love movies, and I would see if they're hiring and look at their corporate office and see if they have collaboration or if they have Cisco equipment, and I would see what they're looking for, and I would note all the certifications, and I'd go, oh my gosh, they want a CCNP. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting a CCNP because I know if I get my CCNP, I'm this much closer to working at Cinemark, and I'll get free movies, and it's going to be amazing. Like that was what I thought about. A lot of my motivation was working somewhere cool, creating an opportunity to go work for a company in an industry I just was so passionate about. I did the same for Starbucks. I got a job offer one time at Dave and Buster's, which was super cool. I ended up not going there. But yeah, it's just planning out those things. Honestly, I would sometimes just start my day. First thing I do in the morning is I'd have a bunch of saved searches on LinkedIn and look at all the jobs and just kind of fantasize, prepare, saying, oh, my job sucks right now, but that job, I could probably with just a few months of study, get that job. That's how I would do it. So that'd be my advice. Packet thrower again with his more Cisco. If you don't know the packet thrower, you should go follow him. He's getting more active on YouTube, so go follow that guy. He's a mess, but he's super smart, so go follow him. All right, so I think I made it through all the super chats, I think. If I missed yours, please list it in the comments, and I will try to get to it. I realize I talked a lot, so I'm like super tired right now. Oh, Patrick agrees that looking at the jobs for certain motivation is a big one. Oh, Saliha, yeah, anytime. She said she started her own company, IT Solutions and Services, and got a few contracts. That's amazing. Like, that's the hardest part. Like, getting a few contracts, that's amazing. So you can build up on that, especially with like AWS. I know that in talking with the packet thrower, a big thing is that a lot of companies are all about the migrations. If you can become really good at helping companies migrate from a data center or just any kind of on-prem environment to the cloud, just learning that transition, getting some experience with that transition will make you so valuable. Because, I mean, a lot of companies are still just trying to figure out, what's my place in the cloud? How will this help me? So being able to step in and demonstrate that, killer skill. Justin, thank you for the super chat. He says Linux Plus, LPIC, or Azure Cert. Both, without a doubt. I have the Azure certified, the cert, they need to like find some standardization. I had the Azure administrator, gosh, I can't talk right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like so tired. The Azure administrator certification, and I taught that on CBT Nuggets. It's solid. It's amazing. And learning Linux with that certification will take you extremely far. Learning Linux, again, I keep harping on this, but learning Linux with any technology now, Cisco, Microsoft, Azure, AWS, anywhere you go, knowing Linux is going to be amazing for you. It just will be, just because more and more people are going that way. So yeah, I know it's maybe a frustrating answer because you're like, well, which one should I do? I think because even throughout the course of going through Azure, you have the option of like using bash commands, Linux bash commands, CLI commands to configure Azure. So I think it's a hand-in-hand thing. But again, what should you do first? Well, are you working at a company now who is like looking for someone to step up and manage their Azure environment, or they're thinking about going to that direction? Well, yeah, go Azure, like do that. But just seek the closest opportunity. Go after the lowest hanging fruit. That will make you go so fast. Just do that. Makarai, I think I said it right. Thank you for the super chat. She says, I have no experience and limited knowledge. Where should I start in order to get into the cloud? First thing I would do, work on getting experience. Try to find a job. Make searching for a job your job right now. That would be my thing, because being in IT is amazing, but the barrier to entry can be frustrating. Just getting that first little bit of experience. That's why most of us start out in the help desk, because the majority of help desk jobs just look for people who are very, very strong in customer service, or maybe like what's funny is if you'll get hired alongside with people who have their bachelor's degree. Even if you don't have a degree at all, it's fine. They just want people who have good customer service. So the barrier to entry to help desk is like almost nothing. But if you find a good company and you get started on their help desk and you demonstrate you want to learn more, and you try to help out and just be attentive, and you put in the time and you put in the effort, you will go so far. I mean, I did it. My brother did it. I've seen a ton of people do it. Get into a good company and work your butt off. That's the best way to do it. So for you, for now, I would do two things right now. Actually, take that back. I would do three things. I would start looking at jobs in your area, entry-level jobs, help desk at any company, see what the requirements are. You have to know, too, that job requirements are a wish list. and they're kind of bullcrap actually. People put their ideal candidates on every single job posting, but very rarely do they actually want that. They just want a good person that can come in and learn their stuff, and they can learn the stuff within like 2 to 3 weeks, become really good at it in 6 weeks. Like, it doesn't matter. So don't be discouraged when you see a job posting that's like, oh my gosh, they want me to have 5 years experience with Windows Server, and they want me to know networking for 2 years. No. All that stuff is just a wish list. If you see an entry level job, go for it. Get on the phone with HR, put your resume in, like just put your best foot forward. I would call whoever you can, get in contact with whoever you can, and just get in touch. That's the first thing I would do, and just do that like crazy. My brother, to get his first start, he didn't actually start on a help desk yet. He actually got his first start at a little computer repair shop in our hometown, which is, I admire him for that. He did a great job at. So he got there, and he was just repairing iPhones, helping kids who built their own PCs and didn't do it right, so they bring their stuff in, and he helped them repair those. And he had his A+, so that helped him a lot. And he leveraged that position to get a help desk position at a company, and then it just kind of went from there. I'm telling you, just those stepping stones it's cheating. It really, it feels like cheating because it can happen so quickly for you if you set your mind to it. And then the third thing I would do, did I say a second thing? Second thing I would do is learn how to market yourself. Learn how to write a good resume. There are resume writing services. I should probably create a little mini course on how to do that, because I've done it for a bit, and it's important to market yourself well. The third thing I would do is focus on the certifications that are in your area that are highly valued. If to get that first help desk position, it's going to have to be like an A+ certification. If that's the job requirements, go for that. Linux, any of those skills, just saying that you're studying for on your resume, letting people know that you're working hard, being totally transparent and open about it, that will go a long way. So if I were you, if I were starting from zero, that's what I would do, without a doubt. There's so much power. And also, man, I want to give you 4 things now. The 4th thing is networking. And not what you're thinking. Networking with people. Go to job events. Go to if you are involved in a church or any kind of sports team or organization, talk with people. Odds are someone in your circles work in IT, and they can. I mean, really, it truly in IT, it is all about who. I mean, it's in every job. It's all about who you know, and you can't get to know people unless you get yourself out there. So those 4 things. But doing any one of those things and focusing on it will help you. So I hope that helps. That's what I would do right now if I were starting from scratch. Shadow Strike 1. First off, been loving the CBT course. Thank you so much. Which one? What's going to be your choice for your concentration CCNP exam? How come? So I've kind of got a thing I want to try. I kind of want to do them all. I want them all, like Pokemon cards. But I think that's a big thing. I'm going to try and finish my route and switch, which I kind of have doubts on because I haven't been studying that much. I've been so busy with stuff, but I'm going to try. If I don't complete my route and switch before then I will definitely go for the Encore concentration, of course. And then I want to look at the NRC, the kind of the routing and switching concentration. And then I want to do the NAuto for sure, because that's the automation stuff. That's just fun. After that, I think I might just want to get every one of them, just all of them. And then maybe I'll jump into another specialty like collaboration or like security for sure. Security. Yeah, I don't know. And then maybe one day, no promises, maybe one day I'll go for CCIE. They say that to take the new CCIE in any realm, you have to kind of collect all the concentrations, because that collected knowledge is what you'll need for that exam, plus all the super godlike knowledge you'll need to pass the exam. But that's kind of on my wish list. So that kind of did not answer your question too much, but NRC for sure, just because I love routing and switching, and that's what NRC is. Boson NetSim coming in, showing some love. Shouldn't I be studying for my CCNP? Yeah, you know what? Shh. I was doing a lab from you guys just before this live stream. It was good. I'm feeling good. I'm super rusty on IPv6, on IPv4 and IPv6 NAT tunnels, and I need to refresh myself on DMVPN phases and setups. But I think beyond that, I'm feeling pretty good. We'll see. All right, I think I covered all the super chats in case I missed anything. But yeah, Boson, you guys are awesome. Whew. Oh, Dimitri, here it is. How's my DevNet Associate prep? Have you guys ever put too much on your plate and then not know, you don't know what to do with yourself? That's where I'm at right now. DevNet Associate, I'm very much going to focus on soon. That's the only answer I can give right now. You know what? I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. I'm going to just start tackling little bits and pieces. Yeah, I want to do that. Thanks, Dimitri, for encouraging me or reminding me. That's what I want to do. Oh, Shadow Strike, the 20301 CCNA course. Oh, yeah. Super, super fun to make that course to Jeremy and Keith. So fun. Thank you, Boson, for believing in me. I'll see. If anything, I get a good chance to say goodbye to the routing and switching exam, because I've been working on them for a long time, and I kind of love them. And if I don't pass, not a big deal. I get to see it, and then I'll get to take on the new generation of stuff. Oh yeah, Dimitri, I saw that you scheduled triple DevNet exams for the first week because you want to be part of the DevNet 500, which we'll see what that's about. But I want to be part of it too. Lemuel Hammond says, Chuck, my question is, I got my CCNA this January, which is awesome. Congrats. You beat Sir Apocalypse with little experience, which most people, that's where they're at. But I need a job, or should I be an intern first? Well, it's difficult to say because the harder it is to find an entry-level job, you have to become more creative. So if in your area, it's like the requirements are out the door and it's like legit, like it's really difficult to find an entry-level job, interning might be your thing. I'm a big, I love Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know who Gary V is, I encourage you, if you want to be an entrepreneur or any kind of person who wants to be motivated all the time, go watch him. But his big thing is that if you want to make it, man, you got to do whatever you can. And part of that maybe is just volunteering to work for free. And that's how you show that you're worth something. That's how you show how valuable you are. That's how you show the world, like, this is how good I am. And I'm so good, I'm willing to do it for free just to show you, and I know it's going to pay off. So interning can be good, but don't sell out if there are paid opportunities. But if you got to do it, you got to do it, man. Totally understand that. Dominic Mack, thank you for the super chat. I took my advice and started a blog that will document my journey. The tatedit.com. I hope I pronounced the wording right. How do you know you are ready for an exam? By the way, go check out his blog. That's awesome. Like, starting a blog is huge. It's a difficult thing to start a blog or a YouTube channel. It's very challenging to do that. But you develop such amazing skills throughout the process. So go check out his stuff. But how do you know you're ready for an exam? Practice exams are probably one of the best ways to gauge how you're feeling. Using really great practice exams like Boson Nets or XSEM that are sometimes harder than the actual exam will definitely tell you if you're ready. The other way is just by looking at the exam topics and just going, oh, I know this. Going through each one and not having any doubt. Like, there's no like ambiguity. You know the technologies they list. Also, being able to lab it up. Every technology, you got to be able to do it. Not just in theory know it, but be able to do it. Spend some time with it. Get yourself immersed in it. But at the same time, just saying all that, there's really no definitive way, like, I'm ready. I don't think anyone ever actually feels like 100%. And sometimes when people feel 100%, they end up going in and failing sometimes. So I think just going through that process, making sure you're covering your bases, but just schedule the exam and go. That's what I would say. Don't wait until you feel 100%. Just because I don't think you ever will. Don't let that get in the way of preparing for an exam. I think just study it, know it, lab it, get to the point where you could almost teach it to your kids. That's a good barometer, I think, and then go for it. Hope that in a roundabout way answered your question. That's normally where I'm at when I'm about to take an exam. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I feel ready. I just got to take the exam because I can't study anymore. I've done it so much. I just need to go see if I'm ready. And that's usually where I get to it. Maverick said he got CompTIA Plus and CCNA certified all in less than 1 year.
That's amazing. Congrats. Like that's difficult to do, especially when you got a ton of other stuff in your life. So that's amazing. Seriously, congrats. Lewis says, what is the best 2020 certifications? Please do a video about it. I suppose I should do a video about that. I did list the best skills, but certifications, I'll have to do some research because, man, with those new Cisco certs, I don't know. Just because HR and all those people won't really know about them. So it's hard to say what's valuable. A cert is only valuable if other people value it. That's the only way it's valuable. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me see if I have any other questions. It's already 7:40. Wow. Whew, I'm getting pretty tired. Calvin says he's going to do, cool name, Calvin Brooks, IT Root Bridge. Encore, Ansari, and Auto, then DevNet Professional. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm curious where the DevNet certs are going to stand. I don't know. Ananda says, which is best, Microsoft Azure or Amazon AWS? I think they're both great. I saw an article today. The big news last year was that Microsoft Azure won this massive government Department of Defense contract. It's called JEDI, which is a really great name for anything. And they won the contract. AWS was pissed. But even with them winning that contract, AWS is still just a market leader. They're killing the game. Their feature sets are amazing. They're running the Super Bowl. That being said, they're both great, and it just depends on what is great in your area or what your company is going for. It's you really you can't go wrong going to either or. I can say this much: if you learn one cloud environment, jumping and trying to learn the other one won't be very difficult because the concepts of the cloud are pretty much the same. A lot of the features in Azure, you'll laugh because you'll go to Amazon and they'll be like the same thing, just named differently. Like it's the same. So you'll win big time. So you know what I would say? Both, because I'm telling you, once you learn Azure or AWS first, whichever one, you could just go get the other cert like that. In fact, I'm going to get the AWS Administrator Associate sometime this year after I do the 50 other certs I promised I'll do. And I'll let you know what the process is like. I know a lot of people have gone before me and done that, so let him know. Satoshi, thank you for the super chat. If you have a question, let me know. Whoever that was, I'm going to block you. Sextime.club. Nice try. I'm going to report you for unwanted stuff. Okay. Justin asks, my favorite Linux distro. So this is hard for me to answer because I'm still testing the waters. I think my favorite one, just because I'm most familiar with it, is Ubuntu. Notice I said it right. Just because it's so widely accepted and popular. I know it's not like the go-to for Linux diehard fans, and I love CentOS for the server environment. So CentOS is awesome because, and I'm not talking about desktop, because I think having desktop Linux is cool. It's good. People like it. It's being different. You're the Matrix. You're Neo. You're the one. But I'm learning Linux not to replace my Windows because I need Windows. I need it. There are things I have to do on it. I'm learning Linux to administer servers and advance my skill set in cloud and hacking and all that kind of stuff, not to replace my desktop and try to do gaming. That's not what I'm doing. So my favorites are Ubuntu. I love Raspbian on the Raspberry Pi. And I like CentOS just because it's the free version of Red Hat, and it's the best thing to learn on. Saliha, thank you again for the super chat. She started my REST API course. It's great. Oh, thank you. Learning Linux, make a video on your resume, the CV. The new company is great, but a lot of work. But will it help me get a job? Yeah, I think so. There are so many skills you're demonstrating and learning that will translate so well. The fact that you're people want to hire people that are self-motivated. That's a very hard skill to find. The fact you're able to create a company out of thin air, get clients, manage contracts, then do the IT work. That's super impressive. Super impressive. So yeah, putting that in your resume, marketing that pretty well. Yeah, I think it'll help you find a job pretty fast. I feel your pain. I know it's hard, but I think you're doing all the right things. Just keep your head down, keep going. I think you'll get there. And guys, I mean, Saliha, if you use the community, like, I don't know where you're based in, but like, let us know, and maybe we have some contacts in here that'll help you out, either on the channel here or in my Discord. Exhaustive networking too, not just the plugging in things, but people around you. I think that'll help out a lot too. All right, Dominic. It's the Tatted 2. Oh, IT blog. Oh, okay. I get it. What do I think about the RHCSA? Is it worth to get? Yes, but for people who are looking to become a diehard like Linux administrator, like managing Linux systems, like strictly, like you want to specialize in that, I recommend the Linux Plus or more of those beginner level Linux certs for people who want to use that skill as a complementary skill to what they're really interested in, like networking. You get the Linux Plus, that'll give you what you need to be successful with network automation. If you're getting into the cloud, that's enough. I think the Red Hat stuff is more focused, more specific to Red Hat and administering Red Hat environments, which is great because Red Hat's huge. So I want to get it. I'm not making any more cert promises because I keep promising I'm going to do all the certs. And dude, if I had the time, I would get all of them because it's so fun. But gosh, my time is limited now. It's so limited. So I'm trying. I'm going to get better though. I should make a video about how I'm going to do that. But yeah, we'll see. Saliha says she's in Sweden. So Sweden, I don't know that job market. So people, if you're in Sweden, please help out Saliha and help her find a job. That's totally not my expertise. I'm very much an American boy and I only know this area, but possibly I should do a video on how to find jobs overseas and get in contact with people who do that, because that would be interesting. Packet Thrower, his new channel is up to 100 subs if he rounds up. Are you being generous with that rounding? Yeah, go subscribe to Packet Thrower, guys. He knows his freaking stuff. Let's see. Frank Mike asks, how many certifications do I have? And he asked that twice. So, I don't have very many, actually. I have my CCNA, routing and switching. I have my CCNA voice. I thought I had the CCNP routing and switching. I've passed all the exams, just not within the time span I should have. I have my Azure Administrator exam, and I think I have something else. I've had the A+ at one time, Security Plus. But I'll tell you this. Certifications are amazing. They are. But and this is the reason I don't have very many. At some point in your career, you don't need them anymore. And depending on what kind of career you're in, what kind of industry you're in. So if you're like Mr. Packet Thrower, picking up certs is a way of life, because he works for a VAR, a value-added reseller, an MSP type of thing, where he works for a company that manages the IT for a bunch of companies. And having certifications helps that company stay compliant with a bunch of these vendors. They get discounts. They're able to use and resell equipment. They're required to have a certain number of certified staff to be able to do this kind of stuff. So that's where it's valuable. Having certifications is valuable to get started and accelerate your career. But I was at a point where without having a CCNP, I was already at the CCNP level knowledge, even like doing CCIE level stuff. So I didn't need a certification to validate my skills. I had years of experience. I had contacts. I was turning down jobs. So I wasn't motivated to get certifications. And you'll get to a point in your career where it's like that. You will, where you've gotten to a point where you don't need to study for that new certification. Maybe if you want to, just because it's fun, but it's more about learning the skills just to move on to the next big thing. So that's kind of how it is. But don't get me wrong, I still love certifications, and now that I'm in a role where I'm creating courses for it, I'm sharing how to get certified. That's what I'm focusing on a lot. But yeah, you'll get to that point. You will, where you have so much experience and you have so much value in what you've done so far. Certifications become just a nice thing. Hope that answers your question. Now let me see. Thank you, Satoshi, for the super chat. He says, I work in remote areas in the world, and I usually have limited to no bandwidth. Suggestions for a way I can have a virtual lab to keep with me. Well, it depends on what type of lab you want to have with you. My first recommendation would be, now this is if money's no issue, getting a beefy laptop with a awesome CPU, a ton of RAM. You can have a killer lab on that, running VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, whatever. You can do something cool with that. You can buy an Intel NUC, with those little micro computers that actually pack a pretty big punch. And a lot of network engineers and sysadmins run their labs off these NUCs, and they're literally like this big, so you can carry that with you. But yeah, if you're traveling around, that'd be the two best options. If you're just looking for something to play around with, like Linux and stuff, I mean, you can always dual boot. You can get a USB drive. This is a micro SD card reader, but pretend it's a USB drive, and you can run it off of a live USB. So you have options. And then we can't forget. You just said you have bad internet. The cloud being a great option, but yeah, internet spotty. That's rough. I get that. So yeah, that'd be my two recommendations: is a solid laptop, or carry on a little bitty server with you. I've been there. Like when I was traveling with my family, and I had aspirations to do that full time. We did it for about 3 months. I had to figure out, like, when I would be in places with bad internet, what was I going to be able to lab on? I had to create content. I had to do all that stuff. So I was looking at solutions, and that's what I would have done if I had been in areas that weren't, had good internet. Hope that answered your question. Let's see. Suman, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being my fan. Started studying for CCNA from CBT Nuggets from your challenge, and I have exam on February 21st, but I feel like I am not ready yet. Should I do it for the new CCNA exam after February? The good news is you have a little bit of time to prepare yourself. So it's February 3rd now. You can change your exam, I think, 48 hours beforehand without losing it. I would just be careful. If you don't feel ready, it's okay to change. At this point, if you are just not feeling like you're really up to snuff, I don't want you to lose money on that. So it's okay to change. I've told a lot of people, and I've said it a lot of times on this live stream, so much crossover from the old topics to the new topics, so much carried over. So you're not going to lose much. Everything you've learned in CCNA so far, you will be able to carry on to the new CCNA. So no worries there. It's hard for me to give specific advice because I don't know what your level's at. I don't know how confident you are. I don't know how well you know OSPF and all that stuff, but only you know where you're at. And if you feel like it's a situation where you got to change it, no harm, no big deal. Don't feel like you're giving up. It's okay. You're going to do it. Just schedule it out and you'll be great. Because we have the new CCNA course on CCNA or CBT Nuggets, and it's fantastic. And you're still going to win either way. Welcome to the unicorn status, Muhammad Jamal. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, I always forget to say this, but this live stream is sponsored by you. A corny way to say that. I do have a YouTube membership. If you can go to, I think there's a link somewhere. I always forget where my link is. Let me go grab it real quick. But basically, it's a way to just, support me, help me do more of this. This does take time. It takes effort. I have to take time away from other things I could be doing, like studying for my CCNP, to do this. And I love doing this, but it helps to have help, right? Let me see if I had the link somewhere. I don't have it with me right now. Anyways, if you'd like to join my membership, $2 a month, I think, at the base, just to support me. And if you get the unicorn status, you'll have a shout out at the end of my video. Other levels, you get stuff. So yeah, if you want to support this channel and what I do, you're sponsoring this video. Saliha, what is the best mail server for business? Oh, great question. So I'm guessing you're asking for maybe your personal business. I would say keep it super easy, slim, and light. I would go Gmail. Gmail for business. That's what I use for my network chuck business. It's fantastic. Unlimited cloud storage. If you watch that video I made, no brainer. If you're wanting to host other mail servers and stuff, that's a different story. You can go open source, which is crazy. That'd be kind of hard, but Microsoft is the way to go. Office 365 is where everyone's going. I'd say that's the biggest thing to focus on right now. Office 365. So many people, including most of the companies I used to work for, are moving their Exchange environment from on-prem and moving it to Office 365. Even for small business, that's where you want to go. George Manley, welcome to being a 10X engineer. Thank you for joining the membership. Fiatu, I think I'm saying your name right. Thank you for the super chat. I have 1 year experience in network engineering. after my summer internship this year, should I finish college or look for full-time? And can I skip the help desk? Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. Because you're interning as a network engineer. It depends on where you're based. Some countries, it's country-based because U.S. you can get away with it, but some countries you need a degree. That's just the requirement. It's that checkbox that they just cannot get past. But if you're in a place where it's not an issue, I would say, man, go full-time because you'll learn so much more having a full-time network engineering position, even just junior network engineer or even help desk. You'll learn so much more, and it's so much more valuable just getting those experience years accumulating. So much more valuable than college. But again, this is my default advice. Look in your area and see what they care about. That's what I would look at first. See what jobs care about. Maybe before you make your decision, look around and apply to a few places. See if you can, before you make your decision, maybe try to secure that full-time job. You're not in a position where you have to jump to either one immediately. Just see if you can pan out the full-time idea. If you get it and it's awesome, yeah, skip the degree. You're getting a degree to get that job, but you already have that job, so why do you need that degree? I've been there. You don't get a gold star just for getting a degree. I mean, you get a gold star, I guess, but it's not worth anything. And on and on. I just hopped in. How's AWS messing up the Super Bowl? Because they're replacing us with robots. And go back and watch. There'll be a replay. Yes, G Suite. Yeah, G Suite is what I meant. Gmail, G Suite. I use G Suite for networkcheck.com. ID10T error. Hey, what's up? So it's almost an hour here. That's what I try to shoot for this stream. Guys, thank you so much for spending time with me tonight. I got to talk about AWS, got to harp on the Super Bowl a little bit, got to talk about some news, and got to see CompTIA kind of go back on the right to repair lobbying and become a good guy again. We announced the winners to the Linux Plus competition. I'll have a link, or not a link. I'll have the winners listed below. And if you don't know who won, go back and watch the rest of the live stream. And just got here. Well, you're at the end of it. Sasquatch, sorry. I will be working on some stuff very soon, focusing a lot on Linux and producing content for this channel. Obviously, I'm looking at becoming a hacker this year. Cringe-worthy or not, I want to see what it's like. I want to do it, so I'm going to do it just because I want to. And you know what? You can't stop me. And but I do want you to watch me, so please come watch me. I think it's going to be fun. And throughout that journey, I'll still be Cisco through and through. I think learning Cisco and networking is going to be really cool to pair that with looking at hacking, especially networks, and pretty much everything else I'm looking at learning. AWS, programmability, automation, all the buzzwords. We're learning all those things here. Guys, that's about it. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get some sleep, and then I'm going to study because I've got a test coming on Thursday. So, of course, I'll let you guys know how that goes. Oh, y'all pray for me because it's my last chance. Anyways, love you guys, and I'll catch y'all later.
Bye.